Hello everybody, it's me, Will, and I'm back with another new video. And this is going to be an all new music update type of video. I have a handful of albums to show you in this one. Some of them are on vinyl and some of them are on CD. But all of them are brand new releases. All of them were released this year in 2023. And I was thinking that this may be my last music update video of the year. But I think I may do another one in the next few weeks, at least before the end of the year, because I'm still waiting for a few records to arrive in the mail. So I may do another one before the end of the year. And of course, my last video of the year is going to be my top 10 albums of 2023. So stay tuned for that. For now, let's check out some brand new releases, and let's start off with this one. This is the new record from Jeff Rosenstock, and this one's called Hell Mode. And it came out in 2023 on Polyvinyl Records. And it came in with a really nice gatefold, and I love the artwork in this record. It's been really fun to dig into the details of the artwork here in the front cover and here in the gatefold, because it's covered in all these weird characters drawn by, I'm not sure who the artist was, but it looks really cool. Very interesting characters throughout the artwork. And I ordered this one through their Bandcamp, and I was able to get the early bird edition, which is limited to only 3,500 copies, as you can see there in the hype sticker. And the color vinyl version is on Crazy Ass Multicolor Mix, according to the hype sticker as well. And what is that? I'll show you right here. Looks like very bright pink and bright blue in the center. And the custom labels, and more pink than blue in the other side. But it looks great, it sounds great as well. Brand new record from Jeff Rosenstock. This is his 6th studio album as a solo artist. You may know him from his work in the punk band Bomb the Music Industry from back in the early 2000s. But he has been doing his solo stuff for the last few years, at least the last 10 years, I would say. It has taken me some time to get into his music. His first few records I didn't really like that much, but the last 3 records that came out as a solo work from Jeff Rosenstock I've really liked. And this one may be my favorite by him. It's definitely his most accessible record, in a way that he has a lot of really melodic songs in this one. It's still punk rock, but definitely influencing the pop-punk side of punk rock. So lots of very anthemic types of tracks, very high energy type of music on this one. I like the fact that a lot of the songs, they kind of feed from each other in a way that when one song ends, the other one almost starts almost immediately. And it's also a very chaotic type of record, even though it has a lot of really great melodies. Lots of very high highs and lots of very low lows. I'm not really sure if I'm explaining that correctly, but that's how it sounds to me. Anyways, a fantastic new record from Jeff Rosenstock. It may be one of my favorite albums of the year so far. Definitely check this one out. Again, it's called Hell Mode. It came out on Polyvinyl Records.
Do you still dream about tomorrow? Does it stare at you from the past? Does it just sit there like a flavor that can last?
Alright, the next album was actually a surprise release to me, because I was not expecting a brand new record from the legendary Richie Ramone. And this is his 3rd studio album as a solo artist, called Live to Tell. And it came out earlier this year on Outro Records. And the vinyl itself came in just on standard black vinyl with the Outro labels. Fantastic new record from Richie Ramone. Iconic, of course, because he was an official member of the Ramones. He released many albums with the Ramones back in the 80s. And he also wrote songs for the Ramones when he was a drummer for them. So he's definitely an excellent songwriter, even from back then. But anyways, I've been a fan of him for the last few years since he released his previous album called Cellophane, also a very excellent record. But I think this one may be his best release so far as a solo artist. And I'm surprised that not many people, I don't see too many people talking about Richie Ramone, at least in the VC. Because first of all, he was an official member of the Ramones back in the day. And he really is one of the last 2 remaining Ramones that's still releasing original material or original music. The other one, of course, is CJ Ramone, but he hasn't released a record in a while. And of course, Marky Ramone, he's doing his own thing, playing Ramone songs. But I don't think he releases any new or original songs by himself, written by himself. Again, Richie Ramone is an excellent songwriter, an excellent singer, and an excellent drummer. And I think he plays most of the instruments in this record as well. Very well crafted or well written songs in this one. I can hear a hint of very sad songs or sad lyrics in this record, especially with the song "I Sit Alone" and "Old Ways." You can definitely hear a sense of nostalgia or melancholy in his voice when he's singing. And speaking of his voice may be a little bit difficult to get into in the first few listens. Actually, when I listened to this one the first time, I didn't like it that much. But after a couple of listens, I'm all in on this record. So with a name like Ramone, a lot of people may be expecting Ramone's style of music in the Richie Ramone record. I wouldn't call this record a punk album, though. I think this is more reminiscent to the later albums from the Ramones, like the stuff that they released when Richie was in the band back in the 80s, which was more alternative rock and hard rock instead of punk rock songs from the first few releases from the Ramones. Just keep that in mind in case you're expecting something different from the Richie Ramone solo album. But anyways, I highly, highly recommend this record. Again, Richie Ramone with Live to Tell. So every year there seems to be at least one brand new record or a debut album from a brand new artist that just catches me by surprise and simply blows my mind by being so good. For example, last year the record that was released by Wet Leg, their debut album, was just incredibly good. And a couple of years back, the debut album from Snail Mail, it caused me the same kind of reaction because I'm just always so impressed that somebody so young can release something so good in their first try, in their very first album. And this right here was that record to me. The debut album from indie rock singer-songwriter Blondshell. And this one came out earlier this year in 2023 on Partisan Records. And I picked this one up only on CD, but I really should have picked it up on vinyl because it is really that great. Here's the gatefold and the CD case. The real name of the artist is Sabrina May Titelbaum, and she's only 27 years old. Again, debut album from Blondshell, and it is fantastic. I highly, highly recommend this record. Pretty much side A in this album is nearly perfect. This is that kind of record when you start listening to it, it's hard to believe that every song just keeps getting better and better. And again, side A, nearly perfect to me. Veronica Mars, Kiss City, Olympus, Salad, and Sepsis. Any of those tracks could have been easily a hit, at least to me. In fact, I've been hearing a lot of those tracks when I play Sirius XMU on my radio in my car. They really liked the new record from Blondshell, and I did as well too. Excellent new record. Great vocals, but to me the highlight is really the lyrics. She seems to talk a lot about very mundane kind of things in some of the tracks, like a TV show characters. But some of the tracks seem to be very personal as well. She has several songs about love and just very deep songs overall. But the great thing is that she adds a lot of very clever lyrics throughout the record. And a lot of humor as well. Very reminiscent in what Courtney Barnett does in her records as well. Alright, the next record is the newest one from Esme Patterson. And this one's called Note from Nowhere. And it came out earlier this year on Sometimes River Records. And they came in with a nice gatefold, with a nice, kind of like a grainy analog-looking picture of Esme there in the gatefold. And the vinyl itself came in just on standard black vinyl with the custom labels. Anyways, Esme Patterson, indie rock musician from Colorado, but she moved to Nashville a few years ago, and this is her 5th studio album. I'm a big fan of her. I picked this record up actually in her concert a few weeks ago at the merch table, and she was fantastic. She may have one of the best voices in indie rock right now. It's just, I could hear her sing anything and it would be great. And that's why I think what I love this record so much, because the songs are very different to what she had released in the past. Her last few albums were more indie rock, very pop-oriented indie songs, very melodic, lots of very catchy tunes. This one doesn't have that kind of catchiness from her last few records. This one's more, I would call it maybe serious. I don't know if that's the right way to say it or the right way to explain it, but it's definitely not as catchy and melodic as her last few records. But anyways, anything that has the voice of Esme Patterson, to me, is going to be a great record. And this one, of course, is no exception. A very personal record. I think that she has a couple of very personal songs with very positive kind of lyrics. She has one traditional song here as well, which is quite beautiful. And the song Working Together is a very powerful song, a very positive kind of track. That seems to me that it was written during the pandemic, because it has kind of like that positive vibes kind of track, kind of like hang in there type of vibes. One more thing about this record was that it was fully recorded at her own house, or in her home studio, which is quite impressive to me, because the whole record is just so quiet. If you play it, there's almost no surface noise in this one. It's just very impressive that she was able to do all that, or a recording of that quality in her own house. Great new record from Esme Patterson. Again, this one's called Notes from Nowhere. Alright, so I have just a couple more CDs to show you in this one. Let's start off with this one. This is the newest record from Be Your Own Pet, and this one's called Mummy, and it came out on Third Man Records. And there's the back and the CD itself. First of all, check out that album cover. Album cover of the year, if you ask me. I love the fact that the singer is dressed up in this latex cat suit, and the rest of the band are just sitting there eating eggs. Great album cover. Anyways, this is the comeback album from the garage rock band from Nashville. They were pretty active back in the early 2000s. They released a couple of really good albums until 2008, when they all of a sudden broke up. They came back this year in 2023 to release this one, again, Mummy, on Third Man Records. It is not surprising that they chose Third Man Records for this album, because their music is heavily influenced in the garage rock sound from that era, from the early 2000s, particularly the first couple of records from the White Stripes. It definitely has that kind of garage rock feel. And this one is, they do the same thing. It's a very high energy type of garage rock / punk rock. Very high energy, great vocals in this one, great guitars. Very kind of like a very high energy type of record. Definitely a summer type of album. The lyrics are quite interesting in this one. There's definitely a lot of themes about aging, like when they were a young band back in their 20s, they could party all day. Now they're getting a little bit older, you know, they're pushing 40 maybe, and they have kids, they have a mortgage, so they have a little bit more responsibilities. So there's a lot about that in this record, in songs like what was it, Good Time, and I think it was Bad Mood Rising. Some of the tracks, I think they may be a lot about sex as well. I think it may be a very horny type of record in songs like Erotomania and Pleasure Seeker, Rubberist. And but yeah, it has a lot of sex kind of themes in this one. and also a little bit of feminism as well, especially in the song called Big Trouble and Hand Grenade. But anyways, an excellent new record. It's definitely the comeback of the year to me. Great new record from Be Your Own Pet. I got a chance to see them live earlier this year in the Shaky Knees Music Festival. And the singer in this band is absolutely wild. She definitely has that kind of Iggy Pop type of stage presence where she just dances like crazy. And they were fantastic live. Anyways, great new record from Be Your Own Pet. This one's called Mummy. Alright, and the last album that I have to show you is this one, the new one from An Attendant Anna. And this one's called Principia. And it came out on Trouble in Mind Records. I picked this one up at their merch table when I went to see them live a few months ago. And I wanted to get the vinyl, but they sold out of the vinyl when I went to see them. So I ended up picking up just the CD. But I think that recently they have restocked on the vinyl versions of Principia. So you might still be able to get a copy of it on vinyl from their website. Anyways, I learned from An Attendant Anna by a recommendation from the Vinyl Douche here on YouTube. Not only was it recommended by him, but it was also received the Vinyl Douche seal of approval, which is a very important approval to have here in the VC. Great recommendation from him. I've been spinning this one quite a bit throughout the year, and I really enjoyed this record. Indie pop outfit from Paris, France, and this is their third studio album. Again, An Attendant Anna, Principia, very catchy type of melodic type of indie rock or indie pop, with definitely a clear influence of jazz type of sounds. You can definitely hear the horns in some of the songs in this record. When I went to see them live, I was just so impressed with the second guitar player because she would just switch between guitar to saxophone to trumpet. Pretty much in every song. It was just very, very cool to see and to hear. But anyway, it's a great album from An Attendant Anna. Definitely check it out. This one's called Principia. And that's all I have to show you for this one, VC. Thank you for watching. Again, I'm going to be back in the next couple of weeks with another music update. And again, my last video is going to be my top 10 albums of the year. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.